What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 East Asia AI only battle. I hope you're enjoying it so far. Episode 2 just went out for me, actually, so obviously I'm in the past of when you're seeing this. It just came out. It looks like people are really enjoying it, so I'm very happy with that. I'm not sure how far we're going to make it, but we're going to keep pushing this turn. I'm not in terms of the whole game, not trying to panic anyone already. I meant in terms of today. I don't know how far. The first 2 episodes we've done sort of 50 turns, and Info Addicts this time, I don't know, it might slow down a bit. We might not quite make it to 150, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. We will focus on what's going on. And straight away, pretty big war. We've got Mongolia going up against Tang China. Of course, added some new cities. In terms of other current really active wars, like with sieges going on, I don't think there is any really. There's no cities like on the edge. The Shan did just complete the Forbidden Palace, so another wonder for them. And they're starting to look quite good here. A couple of 17 pop cities, even this one at 8. Not bad at all. But yeah, unless I've forgotten somewhere, I think most places are just about okay. We do see a new city from Ming on the eastern coast. So there you go. That's going to give them access to the waters, which is quite interesting dynamic, because a lot of the civs do not have any access to the ocean. Actually, I think every Southeast Asian civ kind of does. The Shan doesn't really, right? Siam's in the way for them, but everyone, yeah, they have this, right? But they can't really go anywhere unless they get open borders, and then they need open borders again. But a lot of these other civs do have some kind of boat access, or can use boats in some form. Obviously, it's these guys actually do, funnily enough, because they squeeze through a random city, but you know what I mean. The Xia, Mongolia, and the People's Republic of China are the three big ones with no real naval game. They don't have to worry about that. They just build land units. That's fine for them. Japan and Korea have peaced out for the second time, and again, nothing really going down. And New Siam has completed the Uffizi, so another wonder. There, I didn't see too many. There's not much space left on the map. There is still a bit north of Korea here. There's also a couple of gaps. Maybe get one more on this coast, and obviously there is the islands still available for somebody. But I did see that Chiang Kai-shek's China, or Blue China, or whatever we're going with, does have 3 settlers. I mean, probably a bit over-ambitious. Don't think they're going to be able to put those down. But 10 out of 10 for effort, that's for sure. Oh, Xia Mongolia. Okay, well, here we go. Well, Mongolia is obviously fully invested into China, and these 3, they did this before, right? And I think the Xia sort of emerged as the overall winner. Did they gain? Did somebody lost a city? Mongolia took a city off China, but here we go. The Xia now, with their own element of surprise, could catch off Mongolia. So this is a complete mess. All of the Mongolian troops are attacking Beijing, and all of the Xia's troops will be pushing in against Hejia. And if they get through this, I mean, you could just go for Karakoram, I guess. It's not impossible. So the first votes, obviously that one doesn't matter, that's me. But science funding proposed by China, which I believe makes it easier to earn great scientists and engineers and merchants, as opposed to artists, musicians, and what's the other one? Writers. There we go. Nearly forgot them. We won't forget the writers. Xia, okay, big turn for them. They did not do too much. Now the question is, will these Chinas join in? Like, again, on which side? Could be quite interesting. Science funding failed anyway, so that doesn't matter. That's out the window. Fair enough. Just straight out. Oh, this island here, I don't actually know which one it is, so apologies. I'm not gonna get it wrong. Has gone. It's kind of divided. The Champa have managed to sneak the luxury on the island, but New Siam's getting quite a bit of it, and Korea, on turn 108, has entered the industrial era. There we go. They are flying through. Obviously, they have a lot of turtle ships and hawachas right now, so we could see a really strong Korea. Someone else just entered the industrial era too. I accidentally clicked away before I read who it was. Sure, it's someone else who's doing very well. Can I get a glimpse here? Is there someone doing better than Korea? Japan, maybe? Or maybe it was a third civ. There we go, Beijing. The siege begins, but it's not particularly strong. Just a little bit of damage to the walls. They gave them a little poke. And the Xia are not making too much progress either, so they're both not disasters just yet. But we'll see. Is this China going to join in? No. They look like they thought about it and then changed their mind. And the Champa is the next civ, if I'm remembering the leaders correctly. Che Bongna, I think that's definitely the Champa. Some of the other new civs I might get a little bit wrong, I apologise. But yeah, that is the Champa, I believe. or certainly I think this is the Champa. Yep, it is. Into the Industrial Era as well. I think they're doing quite good. I've seen a few people rooting for the Purple Civ or the Champa. In fact, I think they might be the most popular pick. Except, obviously, if you merge all the variants of China into one. A lot of people put in China, and I'm just like, oh, great. How do I pick which one? But no, a lot of people have done it, so that's good. Most wonders, here we go. Mao and People's Republic of China with 10. I don't know why this list has turned up at 112 and not 120, but whatever. Korea and New Siam, then all the way back in second with 3 each. 2 for the Xia, 2 for Ming, 2 for Tang China, and I'm guessing has anyone missed out? Oh, Liao and Mongolia currently do not have any, and the Xia and Mongolia pieced out already. That was very quick. That did not take long, probably less than 10 turns, and it's over. I think Korea might be about to invade, or at least thinking about it, which could be rough for this China. I mean, they look good, but they just haven't really had time to build anything and get going, so it could be pretty rough. Yeah, and there you go. Korea has now declared that war. The Khmer has just entered the Industrial Era. I mean, that's a surprise, right? You wouldn't expect them to be 1 turn behind the Champa. They do not look that good. They do have this city over here, I guess, which is fairly decent. Right, I choose host. It doesn't matter. Whoever. What are you doing, Burma? I haven't given you much of the spotlight so far. It looks like they're very involved in trade. They do own a canal city, so that would make sense. Siam will obviously be sending all their trade through Mandalay here. Chiang Kai-shek's China has now entered the Industrial Era. They're all going in like a few turns apart. Japan is trading all the way. I kind of want to just explore some of the trade routes we have. We can't normally go into this much detail. So we got this Japanese cargo ship comes all the way along the coast of Asia to Rangoon. I think it's Yangon, isn't it? It's with a Y. I might be wrong. That might just. I think that's what it is. I might be wrong. In which case, I strongly apologise. Siam with a trade route also going there. Japan with this trade route coming in here to Phranikon, which is another good, interesting route. I just want to see, is there any really interesting cargo ships, like some really bizarre ones? Probably not. Japan's got one here that's going to Chengdu, which is Chiang Kai-shek's city. Liao has got one going down all the way down to New Siam's capital as well. I don't know exactly who got. Korea already captured this. That did not take long. And what have we got? Chiang Kai-shek has completed the Red Fort, so another wonder. I think that puts him tied up there with the leaders for 3, or maybe it was his second. I can't remember, but there we go. Another wonder for them. They're not too bad. They are very dense. Like, their cities are all very close together. I mean, look at these 3. They are, sort of a couple tiles apart. Which this map does allow you to do, of course. Although certain civs have not gone that way. You can see, like, China, they've got huge borders and not too many cities. Although these 2 are actually pretty close. But yeah, a good start for Korea. I mean, it's not game-changing, but it helps. They've got to do it. Like, they've got to push through. Obviously, getting Beijing would be amazing for them, but this is a start, and it keeps. It's better than Mongolia or somebody coming through and getting it. But Japan is going for a 3rd attempt. They're not learning their lesson, but this could at least probably saves Tang China from any more trouble. I think they're going to hold off Mongolia now. They've done a good job. The Xia helped distract Mongolia. Definitely a lot more caution being shown by these civs now. As this China, who I thought entered the Industrial Era last term, but that must have been somebody else. So this China has now entered the Industrial Era. They're all still pretty close. They do have their unique units at the moment, so maybe that helped them fight off Mongolia. The Chokanus, of course, getting to shoot twice. Quite an advantage, although they may be a little bit old and dated at this point in this game. Kyoto is now at 20 population on this island. Very impressive. We'll have a look at the biggest cities in the world, maybe at the halfway point to 150. And the Champa, with the next wonder, they complete the Louvre Museum, Art Gallery, not museum, sorry. Man of culture, obviously. Saulon has entered the Industrial Era. I have no idea who Saulon is. I think, is it the leader of these guys? Yes, okay, there we go. So it's the Shan states have now entered the Industrial Era. A few turns behind, but they go in. How are they doing? There was their what's it called? Pantheon went blank there. Is extra culture, was it culture and faith from wine? And they have 1, 2. Oh yeah, you can see on the tiles they're getting that extra. They lost out on this one sadly, but they're getting the other 4. So that's pretty good. Could be a whole lot worse. Right, let's go. How is the religion looking just by eye? We won't look at the stats just yet, but Catholicism seems to be doing quite well in this sort of region along this coastline and then upwards. Buddhism's doing well here between Siam and the Shan states, and Catholicism's, yeah, more around the coastline and then up to the Champa through here. Buddhism's also spreading into mountains. We obviously saw none of these Western nations really... Oh, there we go. Oh, everyone's favourite city at the moment. Topical, I should say. Topical, wrong letter in there. But there we go. Been founded. Another city, though. That's really good from the People's Republic. And they're really starting to fill these borders out, too. And this Mongolian city might get cut off. So maybe... I don't know. The desert's not great. But, you know, if they've got this many builders or workers, they may as well go for it. What other religions? We've got Islam doing well in Liao. Taoism is doing well in China and has spread to Mongolia. Korea has got Confucianism, pretty much just internal. And I think... Didn't Japan have a religion? Did it get wiped out already? Maybe it did. I don't know. Maybe they didn't. Doesn't say they have any holy cities, so... Maybe Japan just didn't have one, and I thought they did for some reason. But either way, they did have a pantheon, but... Now Korea's religion's spreading out this way too. And Catholicism's also sort of coming up this coast, up eastern China, and you've got Islam sort of coming down from this region here. So there you go. That's just by eye. Again, I'm not sure which. Catholicism looked probably the most popular there. Just throwing it out. Buddhism as well. I don't know. Catholicism's like the spread the furthest. Oh, we do have some island cities that just came out of nowhere. Ming has grabbed the northern part of this island, Taiwan. And we also have Burma, who got a settler out here into the Philippines. So there we go. That's it. There's still some space for colonial settling of these islands. Japan and Korea piecing out for the third time. That was it. That was like a 4-turn war. Very quick. Must be like no limit on piecing out. And Ming does have another settler, so they may grab another island. I think they could be... Okay, I can't even say it, because they have like no units. What the heck is going on? Is it just their borders are like that big? They're really spread out? I don't know. Ming does not have many units, but I think they've got enough territory and surely enough resources to be a really good civ if they can survive long enough with this skimped out military. Maybe they've just got a lot of buildings. Maybe they're quite good with that sort of stuff. I don't know, but you have to hope so, right? Because their units, they're looking a bit thin for such a large civilization. We did also just see a peace deal between Chiang Kai-shek's China and the Shan states, which didn't matter too much, but there were a few skirmishes going on in the mountains, but no cities were ever under threat. And Korea, once again, comes to peace with Tang China, which I think was pretty reasonable to be expected. Right, Mongolia is going for it again, going for another little trip, but I think, yeah, China just kills a couple more units, keeps holding them back. China just needs some time at peace. I think they could really be a contender. I don't know. I can't remember the info addicts from last time. It's probably best that I can't. Makes it more interesting. I don't really know who's doing super well. Obviously, score is like the only one that can consider a bit of everything and just be an easy way to check who's doing well. But that is obviously heavily inflated because Mao stole all the wonders in the world. So he got all the points for all of those. We're definitely on track to make turn 150 today. I don't know, this is just going very quick, this game. Obviously on Sunday then we should get to turn 200. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? It is ridiculous. This new PC is putting in work. And obviously the map is quite a bit smaller than the ones we normally use. So it does make some sense. We just got less, it's a smaller map and there's less civs. There's only 15 of them. So here we go. Most tourism. Currently Shanghai, which I think is the biggest in the world. We don't actually need to look at that. I saw it had 28 population. Then it is Indrapura, the capital of the Champa. Then we have Yangon of Burma. And Phra Nakhon of New Siam. Zhongjing. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these. I'm just trying my hardest to maybe read them out as they're spelt. Like, that's all I can give, really. Don't have anything going for the pronunciation of these, which is in the Liao Empire, Beijing in Tang China, Seoul in southern Korea, or just Korea now, isn't it? Although it still says south if you hover over them. New Siam, the first to have 2 cities on the list, with Nakhon Si Thammarat, and then Xichang of the Xia, which is that one here, 23 pop, and Nanjing, the capital of Ming, is also on that list. So there you go. A few of the biggest cities in the world. Ming also grabbed another island in how are these islands growing so quick? This one's already at 6, this one's at 3. I guess the atolls are helping, but there's still some big islands. Probably get a big city here in the Philippines. Maybe one more here for Japan. But actually, no, the islands are going pretty quickly. So that is interesting to see. Where are we at? Turn 130. Some whoa. Whoa, 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 that was really close. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, Operation Save the Series. This is always fun. Right, here we go. Behind the scenes action. How the heck? These frigates are really close. This is a problem. I obviously moved them, so they've declared war on me. Is there a spot in the mountains I could just put a giant death robot in? This is a very alternate way of doing things. I did not expect this to happen. Normally I put mountains around it, but I have to reboot the game, so we'll go for a temporary solution. Giant death robot. There we go. Is there any just where anywhere? I think in here is just best. Alright, assuming I'm not at war with these. Yeah, I'm not at war with any of these civs, so we should be all good. And then I'll fix that in the break. You know, I'll fix that for the next episode. But temporarily, that works perfectly. Right, China is trying to ban copper and arts funding for the Shan states. So the opposite of the science funding. Who would be opposed? Copper. I see some copper here for the Shan states. The Khmer have copper. Siam probably not got any copper. We could turn the resource icons on. That would actually help quite a bit. Any copper. The problem is there's so many, it kind of doesn't help. If that makes sense. I mean, like if you're looking for something really specific, like uranium's one that's always really obvious, but I don't even have that switched on. Here's some copper, which we've gone over. Is there any more copper anywhere? I don't see anyone with like just a huge amount of copper who's going to really lose. Mongolia has copper. They won't be happy with China's decisions. I wonder, I always wanted, I'd never checked this, but I wonder, does China have copper? Have they ever just like shot themselves in the foot? No. Okay, well there we go. There is a Jar settler up here, which will probably go down and fill this space. I'm going to turn those resource icons off. There's just a bit too many to really be of any use. Same. That's why I have the... Phew, the frigate was destroyed. There you go, that's what it takes. It takes 3 frigates shooting 2 times to kill a nuclear submarine. The more you know. But luckily, we were prepared. And Liao is going to have to fight through quite a bit to kill that giant death robot. But like I said, I'll surround it with mountains for the next time. You just have to reboot the game. That's all. The only reason I'm not doing it now. Lazy gamers. Copper was not banned. Only Tang, China, and it says China, but that's never clear. These are both called China. Like, it could be either of them, but one of them voted yes. And then the other votes went towards art funding, which did pass. So there's going to be more of a focus on arts, which is fine. I guess that's probably to do with the fact that for some reason it switched all the victory types back on. I guess it must have been I had one of the pre-series, the practice ones or whatever with domination, and then it didn't come across. I don't know, whatever happened, but it was supposed to be domination only, I can confirm. But more importantly, we have our first ideology, which can be a sign of who's doing well. It means maybe a civ who's better into technology, or has 3 good cities that they've built factories in. Maybe they just have coal and have gotten lucky. But it is the Champa who get it first, and they have gone order, so it is communism for the Champa, who, as I said, have been a pretty popular pick so far. It says an enemy is near. I don't know. Oh, to what? Oh, it's just in my terror. Okay, right, fair enough. Whatever. We'll live with it. It will go away. All that. Okay, well, don't know where that name came out of. I think the Jar sometimes, I don't know why, if it's like a glitch or it's how they're made. I think they sometimes something goes a bit wrong maybe, and they steal the Huns naming ability or something, or maybe there's just not that many names in the mod. But yeah, Orlando, pretty sure that would be a US city if I was in the game, right, eventually, if you settled enough times. I can't remember how many there is, right? I think it's like 50 for the vanilla civs as names before it runs out. I might be wrong on that. Shenzong has entered the industrial era. I think that is Liao, but I have no idea. Again, it might be Ming. I think it's one of the new Chinese leaders, one of these two. Apologise if it's not. Mongolia has gone autocracy, so not too far behind. Shenzong is Liao. There we go. These are 3 good cities, to be fair to them. So hopefully we can see more from them. But like Ming is looking really big now, which is kind of cool as well. And they have another settler going out for these islands. Well, if Japan's not going to do it, we'll take it from Ming. Although Japan looks like they're going to attack Korea again. If they haven't already for the 4th time. But Mongolia goes autocracy. So there we go. So far we've got Champa with order, Mongolia, autocracy. And now we have the Shan states, or Shan states, however I think it's Shan. Shan states joining the Champa. And they border each other, and they've both gone order. So that's quite interesting. And we have a ton of stuff going on. Japan has declared war on Korea for the 4th time. There we go. It's only like 4 turns after the last peace deal. And Chiang Kai-shek's China has declared war on Ming. And the Xia as well. Okay, so the Ming need to defend this border. It's not going to be easy. But I also noted they just settled a city here in the Philippines. They have a settler here and a settler here. So they are coming on strong here. But they are going to need to... And look, they only just recently settled this coastal city at the start of this episode. Deity difficulty is ridiculous, right? And quick speed playing into this, I guess. But they settled here and look, already just a ton of boats. Also, I apologise. Somebody did suggest to me a new era mod to add in that would have added a new era. That would have been quite interesting. And I completely forgot. So that's on me. I'll try and use it at some point next time. Yeah, but that's apologies from me. That's my fault. It's not me shunning your idea. I kind of wanted to use it, but I completely forgot. But here we go. I mean, luckily for Ming, this is a small border. Not small, but, you know, 2 big countries. They can't force their way through all at once. But the big thing for Ming is obviously it's the capital. They need to protect this. If they're going to come into this game late, you know, be a late contender, because they are looking really big right now, as are Mongolia and the People's Republic as well. They're looking quite big at the top of the map, but Ming's got a lot more space for growth still, I think. With all these ocean tiles, island tiles, and obviously the ocean will probably put them into first place for land, because it does count for some reason. I don't know if it counts as less, but it certainly does count, that is for sure. How is that Burma city doing in the Philippines? It's doing okay, 5 population. You can definitely see the faster plot expansion mod kicking in. Look at the border growth of a city like that already. Really kicking in. And it should mean, yeah, we just have a very full map very early on. Burma, again, another civ, 27, 13, 13. You can't argue with that, that's pretty good. I do like what I'm seeing from Ming here, and they've got another city here. That's confusing. That is the same as this city up here, except it's got an apostrophe in it. The Xia with the next ideology, and we might for once have a 3-way ideological battle, because they have opted for freedom, which probably wouldn't happen if we were on domination only, but never mind. It's happening now. We've gone freedom. We're pushing through at a good speed. I'm sure we're going to see plenty of action between now and the end, I hope. Could all go wrong, couldn't it? We could just see like a boring stalemate. But so far it's been pretty exciting. It seems like the early battles are coming in. I hope the modern technologies do make things interesting. China has gone order. I'm guessing that is this China. But it could be this. Okay, hang on. It hopefully tells me clearly in here. No, it just says China. The one with more tourism, I'm guessing, is the People's Republic, though, because they have all the wonders. I'm guessing they have more tourism. I'm guessing this is Chiang Kai-shek's China. So 3 order civs, 1 freedom. Although, to be fair, Xia actually has the most tourism of any of these. And Mongolia really struggling in autocracy already in civil resistance. Not what they would have wanted. Burma denounce Mongolia. Not sure that's the good plan, but there you go. I'm not sure why it matters. You're very far apart, but go for it if that's what you want to do. Ooh. Oh no, this is not good. I know I picked Japan, but I have I'm convinced that I want Ming to win right now. They're actually going after this city. Good luck if you get it. But now they have to fight Liao as well, which could make this a little bit harder, but we'll see. Hopefully Ming can survive, because they look very interesting if they can. They're set up really well, so I'd love to see them do well in this one. We'll have a look at the religion this turn, and then we'll do the info addicts at turn 150 before we wrap this one up. Again, Japan has peaced out with Korea for the 4th time. Oh, we got a new city from Liao. They also squeezed a settler in. I wonder if this one can fit too. Maybe squeeze one more. I think if you went here, you could. You wouldn't get many tiles, but you could settle here, because there is only a 2-tile sort of limit on this map. And Korea has joined the Xia in going for freedom, and Beijing might fall here, which would be a pretty big scalp for Mongolia. But let's have a look at the religion overview. The biggest... Oh, it's actually really close between 4 of them at least. 12 cities for Islam from Liao. 11 then in a tie for Catholicism and Buddhism, both down in Southeast Asia. And then we got 9 for Confucianism from Korea, and Taoism from China, struggling a little bit with 6. But there we go, the religions are spreading. They're getting going, there's a bit of competition. Probably more competition, because it isn't domination only. Maybe that's going to influence things. But here we go, Mongolia, sieging down Beijing. Oh, there's so many reinforcements back here, but that's not really going to help. Can these units do it? There's no siege units. The Kashyyyks are doing their job. We'll see how they get done, but here's a good list. Pointy as sticks. The Jar currently leading the way, just ahead of the Shan states. They've really risen up. Then it's Mongolia in 3rd, Chiang Kai-shek's China in 4th. These are again very close. And also in the 5 digits is New Siam. Then it is Japan, Mao's China, the Champa, Korea, Siam. This is obviously the lower civs now. Burma, Liao, who did kill a nuclear submarine, so I bet they got a lot of XP on those boats. I didn't think of that at the time. China, Ming in 2nd last. There's me, obviously that doesn't count. And apparently I could destroy Ming with my nearly destroy Ming with just my giant death robot. And then in last place is the Khmer. But their religion was pretty defensively focused, and they have the Great Wall, so they might be fine. Burma just joined the war against Ming. It's not looking good for Ming. Hopefully they can get through this. It's going to be kind of sad if they fall apart. Especially if they just lose their capital, which looks kind of likely now. That would be really rough, because apart from that, they're doing pretty good. The Khmer have gone autocracy, which I think, is that bailing somebody out? Was that bailing out Mongolia? Or at least giving Mongolia a fighting chance? Yeah, there you go. They have a friend. 3 order civs, 2 freedom, 2 autocracy. We're getting a nice split. That's what you like to see. A couple of capitals under siege right now. Beijing and Nanjing. Both in trouble. Beijing, the more imminent threat, but I think Nanjing could be there pretty soon. Great Liao can't do too much, and obviously they've got a downside, because this city can still shoot them. There's a cannon there. But this city now, it's just praying for a peace deal, right, in time. The cannon, the bombardment, they're going to have to put out some really good output. We'll come back to this city, though, because it does look like Beijing is going to fall into Mongolian hands, which will be a big plus for Mongolia and a crushing blow for Tang China. The first real civ to sort of die, or just be out, kind of. Not out, but, you know, out of the running. At least I know there's some other civs who aren't doing great, but, you know, that really kills you if you lose your capital. That's not good. Modern era for the Khmer. So there you go. I think some other civs are probably there as well that I haven't read, but there we go. Like I said, we're flying through. So I'm trying to give a bit more depth. And Ming has gone freedom as well. So that is a 3rd freedom civ. I don't know if Mongolia, definitely not the Khmer, but maybe Mongolia might just step in and help them here. Probably not. But I mean, so far Nanjing is not under siege, so they are fine for that. Japan now joining the war against Ming. Bit overexpansive, and like I said, it was whether they could hold on without all those units. Now this island should fall pretty soon. This one probably will fall as well. Liao, though, maybe there's hope. A peace deal between Ming and Liao. There you go. Korea completes the Brandenburg Gate. Citrus has been banned. Strange proposals, but there we go. And we have 2 turns to go for today's episode, which is pretty big. And then we're going to have to run over again, but I'm sure you guys don't mind that, do you? I don't mind either. It adds to the numbers if it's like 4 minutes longer. I mean, if you've watched 30, I feel like the people who watch half an hour of the video would watch a 35-minute one. If you've got this far, I'm sure you'd watch the extra 5 minutes. So I don't think it was be too mad about me making it too long or anything. I think maybe it is better than the full hour ones. But there we go. Japan does grab 2 cities pretty instantly, and that's not a good sign for the other Ming cities. So far, so good though. They've held on to the rest of them. Not sure what the Khmer is doing. They've probably got some unique ability that they can't siege people out or something crazy. Because this is not going well at all. I don't know if this city's just too strong. Like, what's happening? Not really sure. But here we go. Turn 150. And to end it with a huge moment. This China really did need the Great Wall, because the Mongolians have come through and conquered Beijing, and that gives them access. Well, not by, you know, not with boats, but they do now have access to the Pacific Ocean. Is this the Yellow Sea, or is this the? I can't remember which one's which. Is this the Korean Sea, and then this the Yellow Sea? I've forgotten, but I think that's what it's called. We did also see Chiang Kai-shek's China. They're just trying to fill up as much land as they can, which is fair enough. But yeah, big blow to Tang China. Probably the end of the run for them. We'll see who gets this city. Looks like Mongolia will go for this one too. Here we go. Let's have a look at the info addicts. That is Mao's lead slowly decreasing. I don't think he built any wonders today, or maybe just one. So that's nice. And you can see some other chasing pack. China's sort of dropping through there, I can see. We might look more specifically in the graphs once we're down to like a clear top contenders of civs. We can highlight certain lines. But here you go. Biggest populations. We'll do the top 5s again because there is only 15 civs. So the Xia lead the way. Then it is New Siam, Mao's China, South Korea, and the Champa. Crop yield, Mongolia now has the most. Then the Xia, Mao's China, Ming, and Chiang Kai-shek's China. That is a lot of Chinas in there. Crazy amounts of Chinas. Production, Mongolia leads the way, then Mao's China, then the Xia, then the Shan states, and Ming up in 5th. Obviously, they're quite big now, so that does make sense. Biggest economies, the Xia, then Mao's China, New Siam, the Champa, and South Korea. Land area, Mongolia leads the way, then it is Ming. I think Ming probably would have been leading before they lost those islands to Japan. I might be wrong, obviously I didn't look, but I guess they maybe were. Burma, then in 3rd. Mao's China 4th. I'm very surprised Burma's up there, but they got a ton of sea tiles, so it still counts, weirdly enough. Mao's China, and then the Xia. South Korea seems to be like 6th or 7th every single time. Maybe. Oh, there you go. They finally sneaked into 5th. But biggest military is currently the Xia at 250,000. Then it is the Shan states, then Mao's China, then New Siam, and then South Korea in 5th. Social policies, Mao's China and the Xia tied at 19, and then 18 for Siam, the Khmer, Burma, and the Champa. Happiness, is anyone negative right now? Apparently the people of Chiang Kai-shek's China are unhappy, but I mean, he settled a lot of random cities, so that's probably fair enough. Technologies, who's last? We do all of these. Liao is at 43. I don't know why they're doing so badly there. Not going great for them, I'm afraid. Mongolia and Tang China, both with 46, but obviously Mongolia have been winning a lot of the other categories, or doing well in some of them. China, Chiang Kai-shek's China, and the Shan states then at 47. It's then 48 for Mao's China and Burma. 49 for New Siam and the Champa. Just Korea, Ming, and Japan, and the Xia, and Siam, and the Khmer, all with 50. So there you go, the big 6-way tie for the lead. Net gold, only Tang China's losing a lot of money. They did just lose their capital, so that makes some sense. Probably lost all their trade routes. Cities, Tang China with 2. New Siam and Old Siam, and the Khmer with 3. Burma, Champa, Liao, and Korea have 4. 5 for the Shan states, 6 for Ming, PR China, and the Xia. Japan with 7. 8 for Chiang Kai-shek's China, and 9 now for Mongolia. Science, Korea leads the way, then both Chinas, the Xia, and Mongolia. Obviously cities though will impact this, so it doesn't necessarily always guarantee good technology. Culture, a massive lead for Mao's China. Then it is Siam, the Xia, Siam again, and Champa. Wonders, still Mao leading the way. Korea's now into the clear second with 4. New Siam have 3. 2 for Chiang Kai-shek's China, Ming, Mongolia, the Xia, and Champa there. Treasury, we don't really look at. All the faith ones. Influence, no one's influential yet. Great works. 16 for Mao's China, 14 for Burma, 13 Siam, 12 the Xia, 11 the Khmer and Champa. Trade routes, 7 for the People's Republic of China, 6 for Mongolia, both Siams, the Xia, and a lot of others. Tourism, Mao's China is leading the way, then Burma, Siam, the Khmer, and the Xia. Now that'll be it for this episode because my voice is ready to die, so hopefully we'll be okay to record again tomorrow. But thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.